Hello everybody. So recently my parents' garden has been absolutely blooming with fresh herbs. So much fresh herbs, and I don't like any of it to go to waste. Obviously I put fresh herbs on so many dishes and into all my cooking, but honestly this is just on another level. So I thought I would show you a couple of things that I do to kind of hold on to these herbs as much as possible, or to make them as useful as possible. So obviously I use them. Another thing is, especially with basil, I just literally freeze. I wash, dry and freeze the leaves in containers to go straight into soups and stews. I don't defrost any of it in terms of, like, I don't defrost the basil and then add it to a salad, but they are perfect for like sauces, especially during times that there's just no basil around. And then another thing with basil is that I always make, if I have a lot, I make a batch of pesto sauce. I definitely freeze that. That is another useful tip that I do, that maybe a lot of you do as well. And then with other herbs like oregano, thyme, sometimes I'll do like a little mix, which is also great to put into soups. But again, sometimes they don't go hand in hand with certain dishes. So I have a mixed herb kind of container, and then I have a basil one just on its own. I freeze pesto sauce. But another thing that I do is I freeze little herb olive oil molds. So I literally have finely diced or roughly chopped flat leaf parsley. So I put that in a bowl. I'm gonna do a mixed kind of herb. What I do have is some lemon thyme, some thyme and some fresh oregano. I'm literally going to mix the herbs in a plate all together, give it a good toss. Now, some people might put oil in here and then pour it in. I just like to mix it really well, scoop in a bit of herbs into each one of the ice cube containers, and then I'll just pour olive oil on top, freeze it, and then empty the ice cubes and leave it in either a container, a Ziploc bag like this. I repurpose them, or the silicone reusable ones. That is a fantastic way. That way, this is ready to go. You could add it into a soup. You could add it into a salad later on. Another tip is you could also, freeze little salad marinades. So what you can do is you put all the herbs in here, add some lemon zest, lemon juice, olive oil. You could add salt. I'm not going to add any. And then just freeze little marinades. So if you are going to make a salad and take it somewhere, you could just plop a couple of the ice cubes in the salad. I'm going to say ice cubes, but they're like herb and oil cubes, marinade cubes, dressing cubes, whatever you want to call them, on top of the salad. And by the time you get to the place or have it ready for the table, it has defrosted and it is ready to stir and serve. So I thought I would share it with you. It is quite obvious. It's not like a genius idea, but it's an idea that maybe you hadn't thought of at the time, and you just thought, no pun intended. But now that you've seen this, you're like, you know what, that's such a good idea. I've got a bunch of herbs. It's summertime here in Australia at the moment, so herbs are definitely blooming and are in season. And I like to have these, especially for the the winter months that sometimes I just can't get my hands on some fresh herbs. So anyway, I'll flip the screen around, I'll take you through it, and that's about it. Enjoy. All right, here are the herbs. I'm just going to mix them up. So fresh oregano, however you say it. Flat leaf parsley, I've roughly chopped that. Fresh thyme and lemon thyme. Again, use whatever kind of works. Now, some people, I just like to scoop it in like that. Some people will mix the oil in the bowl and then pour it in. I just think it's messier. This way I can just roughly add it in here, and then I'll just pour the oil right on top, freeze them, and then once they're completely frozen, I will just pop them out and put them in a Ziploc bag or a container, however you like to store your things, right? And that's about it. So let's just do this. I might need to chop up some more herbs. All right. Just make sure that you have all the herbs in the compartment. And then I'm literally just going to top each one up with oil as such. I'm using just a light olive oil. You could use extra virgin, whatever you have, to be honest. I'm using light just because I find that it's a bit more of, I don't know, just lighter in case the dish, you know, doesn't want extra virgin olive oil. It's a bit more of a neutral taste. But anyway, all I'm going to do that is fill this up, and then I will freeze it. And like I said, transfer it, and I'll show you the end result probably tomorrow when it's all done. Just before we freeze them. Right, as you can see, these have frozen a charm. So what I do is, obviously you can just crack it up a little bit, but otherwise you can run just a little bit of water at the bottom here just to help bring them up, or just use like a sharp knife and just cut the edges. I'm going to take them out of here and put them into a Ziploc bag. I've just labeled it, and I always, even though you think you'll remember what herbs are in here, I just like to put it on the bag or the container or whatever it is that you're using to store them. Because sometimes you just forget. You're like, does this have oregano in it? Does it have parsley? Oh, I forgot to add parsley. So there you go. It's already been a day and I've forgotten. Anyway, I'll show you how it looks like in the end.